Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. This Bathrobe business. I got the coffee and I got the news. So there wasn't a video yesterday. I did not feel like there was enough stories that justified a video. So I kind of compounded everything into today. So we have kind of a jumbo video. So I'm going to jump right into it. There's a couple of stories I'm going to cover rapid fire. The first is Apple Intel. Obviously, it's the AI application that Apple has announced yesterday. This isn't a surprise. We knew Apple was going to do this. A lot of people are underwhelmed by it. I'm not exactly sure why because I don't know what they were expecting. I think it's very on par with other AI products. And the only difference is the caveat is it's a little bit more user oriented, which is Apple's style. But I think like all of Apple's moves, this is a financialization move. This is a move for driving sales rather than driving product. So the Apple into Intel application, which is just integrated into Siri, is only available on the newest iPhones, iPhone 15. So in other words, to get these products, to get the Siri product, you have to purchase their newest phone, which has been sluggish and which has been struggling to make new entries into the existing market. Sales have been down globally. Sales have been down domestically. There's been no reason to buy an Apple iPhone until now. So this is a very strategic move. Unlike all the others that are just software plays, this is a financial play for Apple and the fact that they get to sell more phones. I think that's very on brand for them, and I don't see why that's a surprise at all. As far as the features, I think they're very similar to other AI products. I don't know what people were expecting, but AI, when you start to play with it, quickly becomes just a toy. I'm still very disappointed by AI. I've used it for business here and there, but honestly, I think I've only used it twice where I could actually say that it created an applicable product for my business. So, for example, I had it help me create a flyer, and it's just a Canva integration. So it's probably a flyer I would have created as well. Either way, obviously, I did it a little faster, but how often do you need to create flyers? We had a new product last year. We used the flyer to do it. And haven't used it since. So I've just been reprinting that same product, but yet I'm still paying $15 a month for the Chat GPT Premium. At the same time, I used it to create a little informational video that we posted on our company's TikTok, which was decent. I thought it did pretty good, but that's it. At the end of the day, how often do I really need to do that? So that's why I think a lot of these AI promises just don't deliver what they're supposed to. So I think this is still on par with the current AI models that we see. There's no real innovation here. Next story. Norway discovers one of the largest deposits in rare earth metals. I guess I'll share my screen with this one. This one's probably worth it. Give me just 1 second. Still getting used to this program. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so you should be potentially seeing this screen right now. I'm always a little confused by it. Yeah. So Norway discovers one of the largest deposits in rare earths. So up until this point, China has, I don't want to say monopolized, but the largest rare earths deposits that could have any competition or have any market impact were in China. However, Sweden discovered one last year, and Norway just discovered one this year that's fairly easily mined and accessible. So, and I apologize if I sound stuffy because my allergies have been killing me. So this rare earth deposit is about 8.8, I think, metric tons. And let me see if I can. Yeah, 8.8 million metric tons of total rare earth oxides in a reasonably prospective economic extraction process. So this is definitely going to be used in the electric car market in lots of different applications as far as electronics. So this is actually a pretty major development. Now, Norway has always been a powerhouse when it came to oil. But as the world, both the United States and Europe, shift away from that, this is another way that Norway can maintain its economic viability. So this is not a small story from the perspective of Norway or for global manufacturing of EVs and electronic products. Next story, just real rapid fire. Baltimore Bridge is going. The Baltimore Bridge collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge is finally being removed. So the channel actually opens today. So not a major story because, as we've seen, I don't think it affected global trade as much as even I anticipated. When doing research on it, you kind of find out that because of the Jones Act, which is a very limiting act that was passed up, I think, over 100 years ago. I think it was in the early 1900s. I think like right at the turn of the century. It passed that only allowed U.S. owned ships to come into U.S. ports. It's a protectionist act that has always limited our global trade, which is not why we're trading as efficiently as other countries. And so that little issue has kept us from growing. And that's why when this bridge collapse happened, it didn't actually affect global trade as much as everybody thought it did. It thought it would. So that's just that. Like I said, I'll just hit that rapid fire. Next story I want to talk about is in regards to EVs and global trade, is Chinese EVs are getting banned in Europe now. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced how the United States was passing major tariffs against Chinese EVs, but now Europe is following in suit. Now, this is clearly in regards to U.S. pressure. I don't think you could argue anything but that, because there is no way that these two tariffs coming in sequence are a coincidence, especially when you do hear chatter from people like Janet Yellen and others talking about how this is about protection. This is about limiting China's reach. So this is definitely pressure coming from the United States, especially since the EU is actually fairly open to international trade when it comes to auto manufacturing. There's lots of U.S. car exports that are allowed into there. It's just the U.S. The way the economic structure of U.S. car makers is, most of their money comes from domestic sales, not international. So that's why you don't see as big of a footprint of U.S. manufacturers in Europe as vice versa. So these tariffs aren't as extreme as the United States, but still substantial. So they could be hiked to as much as 40%, anywhere from 25 to 30, all the way up to 40. They are currently only at about 10. However, a lot of these Chinese manufacturers are already trying to circumvent it, because BYD, the flagship darling of Chinese EV manufacturing, is already planning to open a manufacturing facility in Hungary. And there's other Chinese EV manufacturers that are eyeing manufacturing spots all across Europe. So perhaps that is the goal, that the manufacturing is going to become more domestic, but this is really just a short-term measure until these manufacturers do come into Europe. Last story I want to talk about, I guess everything here is about EV manufacturing, is the UAW president is under investigation by the Federal Monitor. So I'm just going to put on my conspiratorial hat for this story. So UAE President Sean Fain is under investigation by the feds for what they believe is, I don't know, abuse of power. It's kind of a BS trumped up thing, isn't it? I don't know what that would even mean. So according to watchdogs, he violated something from a 2020 consent decree between the UAW and the U.S. Department of Justice. So it seems like this is a fake story or a fake charge used to scare him into complicity, because as we've known, Sean Fain is actually the most powerful union leader we've seen since Hoffa, right? I mean, he has enormous power. He puts enormous pressure on U.S. automakers, and he is making a major play for international manufacturers here domestically. So Toyotas, Hondas, etc. And it's not a coincidence that the feds have decided to take him on. I think this is direct pressure from the automakers. I don't think you can take it any other way other than that. They're trying to shut him down and shut him up. Make of that what you will. That's just my 2 cents. That's pretty much it. Nothing else really in the market that I feel is worth too much mentioning. I feel like it is still a slow week. Tomorrow, we're going to have major developments because we're going to have access to the Fed meeting, and we're going to find out what happens in regards to inflation numbers as well, as those come out at the same time. So I hope you guys have a productive day, and I'll see you guys in the morning.